Welcome to Family Gamer TV News, where we look through the week in gaming news and bring you what's important to you as families. And this week, obviously, the big story is Skylanders and Disney Infinity. Both have finally come out and given us more information on their new games. So a lot of this is going to be about those two, but don't worry, there is more news later on about Minecraft and The Sims and all those other games you love, so make sure you stay tuned for that bit. But we'll start with Skylanders. As was rumoured across the internet, the new game is called Skylanders Traptanium, and that's because of the new feature in this next Skylanders game, the fourth, I think, in the main series, which includes Trap Masters, a new kind of Skylander, and these traps that come separately from them, these little objects that you buy separately. These traps are made from traptanium, an element in the Skylanders world, and what they can be used for is to trap villains in Skylands and then to use them for your own good. So what you do is you put this traptanium figure, this little object, down on a new slot in the new portal, and you can after you've defeated a villain, you can trap it inside the trap. Now, instead of the kind of physical figurine going into the digital world, as with the normal Skylands, it's kind of like the digital figurine comes out of the world and lives within this trap. Now, obviously, this means there's going to be quite a lot to buy for this new Skylanders game, as well as those new those new Trapmaster figurines, which have these raritanium weapons. Those are the crystalline weapons we saw in the leaked images, by the way, not swappable like we thought, but still pretty cool. Obviously, it's completely up to customers whether that's going to be worth it. If you think you're going to buy Skylanders Traptanium, let us know in the comments. It'd be interesting to know what you think. Now, moving over to Disney Infinity, they've got their own announcement as well, of course. That's Disney Infinity 2.0 Marvel Superheroes. As we thought, this is going to be a Marvel-centric version of Disney Infinity. So, given that the Avengers is so popular at the moment, given that LEGO Marvel Superheroes is doing so well, it's still high up there in the charts, despite being released several months ago. You can see why Disney thought this would be a good time to bring Marvel into their game. So there's a starter pack you can pre-order already, which comes with Black Widow, Thor and Captain America, so some pretty cool characters from the Avengers film if you've seen that. Also comes with 2 power discs and the Marvel Avengers Playset. But we think there might also be some non-Marvel characters in the new Disney Infinity game. In the trailer you can see Merida from Brave, Maleficent and Stitch, obviously from Lilo and Stitch, so hopefully those characters will be coming to it as well. Now, we've got a contact at Disney who's told us that there will be a DLC option for people who already own Disney Infinity. So you'll be able to get access to the new features and the Marvel playsets from your original game as kind of as an expansion instead of buying the whole thing again. Compared to Skylanders, this seems like quite a valuable proposition. So it could kind of sway some Skylanders fans over to the Disney Infinity side, perhaps. If that's you, let us know in the comments. It'd be interesting to hear what you think. Now, although there is no Wii version of Disney Infinity, it does seem like you'll be able to use the Wii portal and figures from the original Disney Infinity on the Wii U version of this game if you buy it from the eShop. Now, moving over to Nintendo, they've also got some news in this kind of figurine kind of sphere. They recently announced that they're going to produce their own NFC, that's near field communication figurines, like the Skylanders toys, like the Disney Infinity toys, but obviously with Nintendo characters like Mario. They're calling these NFP, which means NFC Featured Platform or Nintendo Figurine Platform. Bit of a mouthful, but basic idea is that they'll have these figurines and they won't be specific to one game, unlike Skylanders and Disney Infinity. You'll be able to use them across multiple games, as of yet unreleased games. Now, they're going to talk about this more at E3, which is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which takes place every year in Los Angeles. Now, that takes place next month, so we should have some more information then, and they've said that we should get some Wii U games that can use this kind of NFC capability by the end of the year. Now, obviously, if you've played Pokemon Rumble U, you'll recognize these little figurines. These use the same technology, this NFC technology. On the gamepad, there's a little square in the bottom left corner. You can put these figurines on it and they can be transferred into the game. So it'll be that kind of principle, but across multiple games. Now, they're also making an NFC kind of adapter for the 3DS as well. They're going to announce more information on that and hopefully get it out by next year. So we're not sure if these characters will work across Wii U and 3DS, but it seems likely that they will. So you'll have maybe Mario Kart on the Wii U and Mario Kart on the 3DS, and you'll be able to use the same characters across them. Like the Skylanders and Disney Infinity characters, they'll store data in them as well. So this kind of opens avenues for loads of interesting things that Nintendo could do, potentially to boost its Wii U sales as well, because the console is not doing brilliantly. Now, speaking of Mario Kart, if you are going to be buying Mario Kart 8, then you could also get a free game as well. If you register it on the Club Nintendo website between the end of May and the end of July, then you can get one of 10 other Wii U games for free as a download code. The list is Nintendo Land, New Super Mario Bros. U, Game & Wario, Pikmin 3, Zelda Wind Waker HD, Sonic Lost World, Mario and Sonic at the Sochi Olympic Winter Games, Wii Party U, Wonderful 101, and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. The last two of those are PEGI 12s, but all the ones before should be appropriate for anyone. That's quite a good list of some really decent Wii U games, so it's definitely worth considering registering your copy of Mario Kart 8 if you are planning to buy it. Now, also on Mario Kart, there's a new smartphone app that offers race replay videos from Mario Kart TV and stats for how your competitors are doing. So it's quite a cool little add-on app for Mario Kart stuff. We had a look at what the app might look like, and it seems like a really good way of extending functionality beyond Nintendo's own devices. So it's not just for the 3DS, it's expanding it to smartphone as well. Whether or not this means there'll be Mario games on smartphones is yet to be seen. If that's something you think you like, let us know in the comments if you've got any suggestions of what kind of Mario games might work on smartphones, and let us know. Now, also from Nintendo, 3DS owners will now be able to play Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Sapphire, or at least updated versions of the games that originally came out on the Game Boy Advance. Now, they're going to be called Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and I'm thinking kind of like Leaf Green and Fire Red. These will be the same story as the original games, but with updated graphics and a few new features in them as well. So if you didn't play the originals, it could be good to get these and see what they were like. If you did play the originals, there might be enough new features in there to sway you. We should have more information soon, and they're coming out later this year. Now, moving over to Minecraft. Finally, Minecraft Realms is available in North America. This is the subscription service that lets you host your own multiplayer games online much more simply than you might do it otherwise. It only costs $13 a month, so it's definitely worth considering for families who want to all play together. So go and check out the website if you think that might be something you're interested in. Now, on the console versions of Minecraft, the PlayStation 3 edition is getting a Blu-ray release, so a proper boxed version next week on the 14th of May. This is particularly good news for parents who perhaps don't want their kids downloading games from the online store. Obviously, you have to either buy points or enter your credit card information. It can be quite complicated. Some parents might prefer to have a boxed copy of the game that they can kind of keep in their sites. Also means that you could take it to your friend's house and play it there if you wanted to, stuff like that as well. Now, on the blog post for the PlayStation website that gave this news, they've said that the PS4 and Vita versions are also coming soon, by the second or third quarter of this year, hopefully, they've said, so that's not too far off. And in the comments, the author of the blog post also said that the plan is for the PS3 users to be able to transfer their saves to the PS4 version. And shortly after that, Xbox chimed in as well. Phil Spencer said Minecraft 360 saves will transfer to the Xbox One version as well. So that's good news all around. Now, over on The Sims 4, we finally got a bit of news for the game, and that's the executive producer Rachel Franklin, otherwise known as Sim Guru Rachel on Twitter and on the forums. She's confirmed that The Sims 4 will be at E3. That's the Electronic Entertainment Expo that I mentioned earlier, taking place next month in Los Angeles. So hopefully it won't be too long before we've got a whole load of information about the upcoming game. For now, if you're looking for Sims 4 info, there are a few new images floating about the internet. If you check out the Sims Guru Twitter accounts, several of them have updated their profile pictures to Sims from the new aesthetic, the new look of the Sims 4 game. So have a look around and have a look at some of those. And further news for the Sims 4, Bella and Mortimer Goth, who are kind of fan favourite characters from the original game, they're going to be in The Sims 4 as well, and there's a screenshot of them, their kind of Sims 4 looks, obviously quite different from their original looks in the original Sims. We've got a couple of other news pieces to finish off. If you are an older player who liked The Last of Us, you might be interested in this concept art that an artist called Marek Ocon, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, shared on Facebook. Ellie looks a bit older in this piece of concept art, so fans are obviously wondering if this means there's going to be a sequel to The Last of Us where, you know, a few years down the line she's a bit older, Joel's a bit older, and, you know, their adventures continue. But he is calling it fan art and an homage to one of the best games he's ever played. The story is that Ellie is, quote, a few years older, practicing her tunes, being chased by a woman who will hesitate at nothing to find the cure and save her loved ones. Those who've played The Last of Us will know who that's talking about. But the artist does warn in the comments on this picture that this does not mean that The Last of Us 2 has been confirmed, although obviously it's not going to stop fans from hoping that we might hear something at E3 about the series. Now, finally in the news, Angry Birds creator Rovio has released a new iOS game that's called Retry. Quite a clever name, obviously so called because it's very, very difficult and you're going to have to press the retry button a lot. Now, Wes has tried out the game in a Let's Play video for Family Gamer TV, and it does look pretty tricky. It does look like he has to press the retry button a few times. He compares it to Flappy Bird, so if you miss Flappy Bird, now unavailable, and you want to check out a game that's kind of similar, retro-inspired, very, very difficult, go and have a look at his Let's Play, see if you might want to download it. Now, time for the charts. Now remember, we sort these by PEGI rating, and that's suitability, not ability. So it's what kind of content is in the game, what age it's appropriate for, not how difficult it is. Now we'll start with the 3+ category. And this week, the top selling game in the 3+ category was, again, FIFA 14. But things are a little different lower down the category. Next is the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil game. Again, a FIFA game, again, more football, but this one was produced especially for the World Cup, and it's a bit different. It has these cool kind of activities where just after each match happens in the real World Cup, they'll upload challenges to the game, and you'll be able to download them, I think, an hour after the match has happened, and try them out for yourself. So if you see a match where something particularly cool happens, you'll be able to try and pull that off yourself within the game. So that's a pretty cool feature. Third in the 3+ category, it's Mario Golf World Tour. Unfortunately, this game only made it to 22nd in the chart overall, and it's new out this week, but it is only on 3DS, and golf is not for everyone, so that might kind of explain why it didn't make it further up the charts. I have heard it's a really good game. Now in the 7+ category, we've got an interesting group this week. All 3 games are Lego games. First of all is Lego The Hobbit, which is the most recent Lego game to come out. That's 7th in the charts overall. Then you've got the Lego Movie video game, which is 8th in the charts overall, obviously based on the really, really popular Lego movie that came out very recently. And the Lego Marvel Superheroes is number 11th in the charts overall. So those 3 make up the entire 7+ category. Moving over to the 12+ category, we've finally got 3 games in this category, so it's looking good for kind of adolescents and teenagers out there. Top of the list is Trials Fusion, which is a really, really difficult kind of skill-based motorbike racer. Quite a competitive one. People like to play it and then post their scores to the leaderboard and compare with their friends and stuff. Worth checking out if you like kind of building your skills. Next is Kinect Sports Rivals, which I've been playing recently. There are 6 sports altogether in the game. Obviously, it's for the Kinect, for the Xbox One. You've got shooting, climbing, wake racing, which is especially fun, and then like tennis and football and bowling as well. And then third in the category is the Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remaster. So technically not a new game, but like an HD remaster of the older one. In the 16+ category, we've got a new number 1, which is number 1 overall in the charts, and that's the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game. Next is Titanfall, which is now kind of dropped to 2nd place in the charts overall, though it did have 3 weeks at the top. And then it's Call of Duty Ghosts after that. And then finally, the 18+ category, no surprises here. You've got Battlefield 4, typical first-person shooter, South Park, The Stick of Truth, that RPG based on the comedy series, and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now, upcoming games, we've got a few coming out this week and next. On May 9th, so that's tomorrow, there's a fantasy RPG called Bound by Flame coming out for PC, PS4, PS3 and 360. In it, your character is possessed by a demon, so that makes it a little bit different from other RPGs. Maybe worth checking out, though only if you're 16 or older, because it's a PEGI 16. On May 14th, next week, as I mentioned earlier, Minecraft PlayStation 3 edition, so the disc kind of boxed version of the game is coming out. That features Title Update 14, so it's a very recent version of the game as well. So if you've been holding out for that update, could be worth getting the boxed version. And then on May 16th next week, Kirby Triple Deluxe is coming out. That's 3DS only. It's reviewed fairly well, though some have said it's quite easy, but it's only a PEGI 7. Could be a really, really good one for kids. And that's all the upcoming games. Obviously, we'll let you know what ones are coming out later in the month in the next news video. As for now, feel free to let us know in the comments if you've got any updates on other news we've missed, or any comments on things I've talked about in this episode, particularly that Skylanders and Disney Infinity news. I'm sure lots of you have got lots to say about that and about what Nintendo might be doing with its own NFC technology. As for now, that's all from me, but I'll be back soon.